MS20 patch video. Hi folks. So this time we're going to do a sort of a descending or ascending effect sound. So here it is. Yep, so that's it. It's a relatively simple patch over here. The reverse side of the envelope generator 2 is controlling the high pass filter. And on some of my other patches, you saw that I was routing the out of envelope generator 1 into the envelope generator 1 trigger in, which turns it into like an LFO. But with this one, I slightly modified it. I took the out of envelope generator 1 and put it into the modulation VCA, and then out of the modulation VCA into the EG1 trigger in. But this time, the control input is being modulated by the mod wheel, so we can adjust how much that seeps through. So right now the mod wheel's set very particularly, and the mod wheel and the settings for envelope generator 1 and the modulation generator settings are the things that have the biggest impact on this sound. For instance, I'll trigger the sound and then I'll change the waveform. And so that sound that you hear is actually the two LFOs, the looping envelope generator 1 as an LFO, and the modulation generator, both working together. So right now the frequency of the modulation generator is just above 1, but I'm going to move it just a tiny bit and you'll see how drastic the effect is on the sound. So that's just modulation generator 1 being adjusted. So there's a sweet spot in there to get that nice particular cascade of sounds, and not just like, you know, the pitch riser or whatever. So here I'm going to tweak the the settings of envelope generator 1 a little bit. This is the release that I'm adjusting. And now the attack. And now the delay. And right now the variable pulse width on oscillator 1 is set so that you can't even hear it, but if you want to make this sound a little dirtier, you can bring in the variable pulse width, and then it'll turn into this. And now I'm going to adjust the mod wheel so you can see how much of an effect on that sound it has, but I'm going to take the variable pulse width off so we just have our original sort of clean sound. So now I'm going to adjust the mod wheel and you'll see what the range of the sound is with the mod wheel. This is full modulation depth with the mod wheel. And if you just back her off a little bit, you get that. And of course you can mess around with the patch panel. Also the frequency modulation for both the envelope generator 1 and the modulation generator is almost full on both counts. It's a little past 9 on both of them, so let me just adjust those a little bit. So this is without any frequency modulation from the modulation generator, and this is without any frequency modulation from the envelope generator 1. You can also get, this is like a pretty like mid to high range sound right now, but if you crank up the peak on the high pass filter, you get some nice bassy undertones to that. Just gotta find the sweet spots. Should be able to hear that nice like sub bass boom in there. and you can adjust that by moving the cutoff frequency modulation for the modulation generator. So right now it's kind of a higher thing and not very bassy, but if you back this down, I kind of like it, but it's just kind of clean though. So I'm going to mess around with the patch bay over here, see if I can come up with any more interesting variations while we're talking. Oh, also the reverse out of envelope generator 2 is controlling the high pass filter, so let me tweak those settings around a little bit. It won't be very drastic, but let's see what happens. I suppose the most useful thing you can do is you can just crank up the hold time, and then it'll just trigger for a while, so you can tweak it. So let's try, seeing as it's a Ringmod sort of sound, let's see if we can find something fun that will go into the VCO2 of CV in. So maybe let's make a little sample and hold type deal. So, almost dropped my phone. Okay, so into the sample and hold, let's take pink noise. As a clock, let's try the ramp of the modulation generator, and we'll take the out of the sample and hold and put it into VCO2 CVN. I don't know what's going to happen, so let's see. Noise. Maybe for, instead of pink noise for the sample and hold, let's try the reverse of envelope generator 1. Let's try a different clock source. Interesting. Let's just try plugging in the clock source into a bunch of different things and see what happens. Try a different in source. Guess I'm not getting anywhere on this, so let's take this sample and hold business out. Of course, another thing we can always do is we can route the headphones into the signal in to get a little bit of internal distortion. But we can also take that headphones out, go to the signal in, and let's take the CV out converter from that and go into this VCO2 CV in. And take this out and go into the signal in. Much nastier sound. pretty nasty sounding right now. Let's see. Take some of these. Let's see what else we can do with this. Oh, if you plug something into the modulation generator, it'll change its characteristics a little bit. So let's take the CV out from the external signal processor and put it into the outs of the modulation generator. See, it doesn't make sense to me initially that plugging something into the out of the modulation generator would affect the signal, because you're taking it out and putting it into like an in. But it seems that it affects the voltage of the modulation generator in some way, so that it affects the total signal, even though it doesn't make sense to me right now. But oh well. Kind of sounds weird, but oh well. So, yeah, that's the sound. I hope you found this instructive, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.